Objectives and structure of crisis management. For core objectives, every crisis management operation is guided by these goals. Number 1, resolve the situation without further incident. Always aim for peaceful resolution first. Kailangan tapusin ng problemang payapa, laging unahin ang mapayapang paraan ng pag-aayos. To ensure the safety of all participants, victims, bystanders, officers, and perpetrators. Panatilihin ang kaligtasan ng bawat isa mula sa biktima, pati na rin ang may sala. Wala ang sinuman dapat mapahamak. Number 3, ensure the apprehension of all perpetrators, justice within the bounds of the law. Masiguro na mauhuli at mabibigyan ng nararapat na parusa ang gumawa ng krimen at nasa ilalim dapat ng batas para mabigay ang justice. Number 4, accomplish the task within the framework of current community standards, no excessive force, no rights violations. Siguraduhin na hindi nilalabag ang karapatang pantao ng sinuman habang ginagawa ang tungkulin. Crisis Management Committee or CMC. What is the CMC? The Crisis Management Committee is the governing body responsible for the overall direction and coordination of crisis management efforts in the Philippines. It is not just police body, it involves government, military, and civilian agencies working together. Core functions of the CMC. Formulation of crisis management, procedures, and protocols. Gumagawa ng patakaran at proseso kung paano dapat harapin at pamahalaan ang mga uri ng krisis. Number 2, integration and orchestration of government, military or police and public efforts. Sinisiguro na maayos at magkakaugnay ang mga gawain ng gobyerno, militar, kapulisan at publiko sa panahon ng pangangailangan. At number 3, prevention and control of crisis incidents at the national level. May pananagutan na pigilan ang paglitaw ng mga krisis at kontrolin ang sitwasyon sa buong bansa para hindi lumala or kumalat. The role of PNP in crisis management. The Philippine National Police is at the forefront of crisis response. It responds to two distinct types of situations. Number 1 is ordinary police response. Incidents that can be resolved through standard patrol operations without needing CMC involvement. Ito yung pangyayaring kayang ayusin gamit ng pamamaraan ng kapulisan nang hindi na kailangan yung pakikialam or utos mula sa CMC or Crisis Management Committee. Example dito is robbery that is quickly contained by responding units. Number 2, CMC directed operation. Incidents that are so severe or complex that they require the activation of the CMC and the involvement of special government units. Ito naman yung pangyayaring napakalala or napaka-komplikado at hindi na kayang ayusin ng unit ng pulis. Kaya kailangan isagawa ang operasyon sa CMC or Crisis Management Committee. At kailangan din ng tulong sa special na unit at iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno. Example dito is a terrorist bombing in Metro Manila that involves multiple agencies.
The CNC is the governing body responsible for the overall direction and coordination of crisis management efforts in the Philippines. Core function. formulation of crisis management procedures and protocols. Ito ay proseso ng paggawa ng malinaw na guidelines, steps at communication plans para maayos na ma-handle at makontrol ang mga emergency o hindi inaasahang sitwasyon. Next is integration and orchestration of government, military, police, and public efforts. Maayos na coordination at pagtutulungan ng iba't ibang sektor upang mas mabilis at epektibong matugunan ang isang crisis o emergency situation. Next is prevention and control of crisis incidents at the national level. Pagpapatupad ng mga akbang at programa ng pamahalaan upang maiwasan at makontrol ang mga krisis o hindi emergency na maaring makaapekto sa buong bansa. Meron tayong 5 P's of PNP crisis management. The PNP operates on a structured 5 P's. We have here proactive, which is predict, anticipate crisis through intelligence. Proactive, which is prevent, take action to stop the crisis from occurring. Then proactive, which is prepare, build plans, train personnel, organize resources. Then the reactive, which is perform, execute the contingency plan which when crisis occurs. Then post-active, which is post-action, restore the normalcy and bring perpetrators to justice. The Critical Incident Management Committee, CIMC. Agencies typically coordinated by the CMC during a major crisis include: we have here the agencies at ang kanilang mga role in crisis response. PNP or Philippine National Police. Ang kanilang role ay primary law enforcement, response, negotiation, tactical operation. AFP or Armed Force of the Philippines. Military support for large-scale or terrorism-related crises. And NDRRMC, National Disaster Risk Reduction of Management. Disaster Response Coordination and Resource Management. Then ang DOH is Department of Health to Medical Response Mass Casualty Management. DSWD or Department of Social Welfare and Development. Victim Assistance, Evacuation, Support, and Psychological Service. And next is DILG or Department of the Interior of Local Government. Local Government Coordination and Community Engagement. Then next is NBI or National Bureau of Investigation. Investigation, Intelligence, and Evidence Management. Next is NICA. NICA is National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. National Intelligence Support or Threat Assessment. Next is BGMP or Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Detention and Custody Management of Apprehended Perpetrators. Then next is Media PIO, Controlled Public Information Release to Prevent Panic. Insight: without the CMC, each of these agencies would respond to a crisis based on their own priorities and protocols, potentially getting in which other way, duplicating efforts, or leaving critical gaps in the response. The CNC ensures that every piece of the puzzle fits together. The CMC does not only respond to crises, it actively works to prevent them. This includes threat assessment and intelligence analysis, identifying potential crisis situation before they erupt. The next is community engagement programs, building social resilience to reduce the conditions that give rise to crisis. Next is interagency information sharing, ensuring that threat intelligence reaches the right agency at the right time. Next is early warning systems, establishing mechanism to detect and flag emerging crisis situation. Next is policy recommendation, advising the national government and laws, policies, and program that reduce crisis risk. Ang mga ito ay mga hakbang na ginawa upang maagapan at mabawasan ang posibilidad ng krisis sa pamamagitan ng threat assessment, intelligence analysis, community engagement, information sharing, at early warning systems. Layunin din ito na tulungan ang pamahalaan sa paggawa ng mga batas, policies at programa upang mapanatili ang kaligtasan at maiwasan ang mga malalaking problema o emergency situations.
Terrorism. The Global Terrorism Index or GTI defines terrorism as the threatened or actual use of illegal force and violence by a non-state actor to attain a political, economic, religious, or social goal through fear, coercion, or intimidation. It means ito yung pagbabanta o paggamit ng illegal na karahasan ng isang grupo na hindi bahagi ng government upang makamit nila yung pang-ekonomiya, etc. sa pamamagitan ng pananakot. Example, may isang group na hindi kaugnay ng government ang nagtetreat na pasabugin ang isang building ng government kung hindi susundin yung hinihinging patakaran tungkol sa mga layunin nila. Gagamit sila ng karahasan or pananakot upang mapilitan ang pamahalaan at publiko na sumunod sa gusto nila. Republic Act Number 11479 or Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 of the Philippines. Terrorism involves acts intended to cause death, damage to property, or disruptions of essential services with the purpose of intimidating the government or the public. Ang halimbawa nito, may mga taong nagplano at nagsagawa ng pagsabog sa isang pampublikong pamilyan, nagdudulot ng pagkamatay ng ilang tao or pagkasira ng mga tindahan. Ginawa nila ito upang matakot yung mga mamamayan at mapilitan ang gobyerno na baguhin ang patakaran nito. Classification of terrorism. Number 1, domestic terrorism. Terrorism that occurs within the borders of a single country where the perpetrators and victims share the same nationality. Ito yung tinatarget nila yung sarili nilang pamahalaan, mamamayan o institusyon. Nagmumula ito sa mga hinaing politikal, paniniwala or panrelihiyon sa loob ng bansa. Hindi ito kinasasangkutan ng mga dayuhan o operasyon sa ibang bansa. Ang example nito yung Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army or CPP-NPA. Sila yung nagsasagawa ng mga pag-atake sa mga pwersang militar at pulis, sa pasilidad at mga opisyal ng gobyerno sa iba't ibang probinsya. Ito yung tinuturing na terorismong panloob dahil nakaugat ito sa kanilang ideolohiya at isinasagawa sa loob lamang ng Pilipinas. Number 2, international terrorism. Terrorism that crosses national boundaries either in methods, use, targets chosen, or the location of the terrorist. Characterized by intent to affect the distribution of power in global society, involves foreign operatives, transnational networks, and cross-border logistics, often funded and coordinated across multiple countries. Ito naman yung layunin nitong baguhin or impluwensyahan ang pamamahala at kapangyarihan sa buong daigdig. May kinalaman din ito sa mga dayuhang kasapi, samahang pandaigdig at paggalaw sa pagitan ng mga bansa. Madalas na pinupunduhan at pinag-uugnay ang mga gawain mula sa iba't ibang bansa.
State-sponsored terrorism. State-sponsored terrorism. Terrorism that is supported, directed, or condoned by a government against its own people or foreign targets. Governments use military, police, or intelligence agencies to commit acts of terror, often justified by states as necessary for national security, widely criticized as violations of human rights and international law. State-sponsored terrorism, ito ay uri ng terorismo na sinusuportahan o pinapayagan mismo ng gobyerno laban sa sarili nitong mamayan o ibang bansa. Ginagamit minsan ang militar, police o intelligence agencies upang manakot o kontrolin ang mga tao. Madalas itong pinapaliwanag bilang para sa national security, pero maraming tao ang tumutuligsa rito dahil lumalabag ito sa karapatang pantao at batas internasyonal. Context: students must understand that state-sponsored terrorism is not limited to foreign governments. Any state that uses systematic violence against its own citizens as a tool of political control falls under this category. Ito naman ay mahalagang maintindihan ng mga estudyante na ang state-sponsored terrorism ay hindi lang ginagawa ng ibang bansa. Kahit anong gobyerno. Okay, next. Left-wing revolutionary terrorism. Terrorism motivated by Marxist, communist or socialist ideology, seeking to overthrow capitalist systems and establish a socialist or communist state. Ito ay terorismo na nakabase sa ideolohiyang Marxist, komunista o sosyalista. Layunin nitong pabagsakin ang kapitalistang sistema at pabagsakin at matatag ng sosyalista o komunistang pamahalaan. Karaniwan nilang ginagamit ang revolusyon o marahas na paraan upang makamit ang kanilang layunin. Ang example nito ay the CPP-NPA is one of the world's longest running communist insurgencies. Their attacks on government force, multinational companies and infrastructure reflect left-wing revolutionary terrorism. Ang CPP-NPA ay isa sa pinakamatagal na grupong komunista sa mundo. Umaatake sila sa mga sundalo ng gobyerno, malalaking kumpanya at mga infrastruktura bilang bahagi ng kanilang layunin na baguhin ang sistema ng pamahalaan. Ito ay halimbawa ng left-wing o revolutionary terrorism. Okay, next, Islamic religious terrorism. Terrorism motivated by extreme religious ideology, particularly radical interpretation of Islam, seeking to establish a theocratic state or punish perceived enemies of the faith. Ito ay uri ng terorismo na inuudyukan ng matinding paniniwalang panreliyon. Karaniwan gumagamit ng karahasan ang mga grupong ito upang ipagtanggol ang kanilang paniniwala, matatag ng pamahalaang batay sa reliyon o kabanan ng mga tinuturing nilang kaaway ng kanilang pananampalataya. Example, ang Abu Sayyaf groups, ASG, Mauti Group at BIFF ay mga halimbawa ng grupong terorista na kumikilos sa Mindanao at Sulu. Gumagamit sila ng karahasan at armadong pakikipaglaban dahil sa kanilang ekstremistang paniniwala.